right, the video topic is, are you too old to come to Japan? So I won't keep you in suspense. The answer is no, you're not too old to come to Japan. And we will, though, spend the remainder of the video, the course of the video, discussing why I think that's the case. It's one man's opinion. Take it or leave it. Really, you should just come and decide for yourself whether this is the case or not. But I'll still offer you my 2 cents. And hopefully now much better than the other video that I just made the other day with this return to form, where I'm out once again with the selfie stick walking through the neighborhood that I live in, and with better stabilization now, and this dog always saying hello when I walk by here. So what's kind of interesting about this question, am I too old to come to Japan? It's interesting to me because it's noteworthy that when I used to get emails from people asking this question, immediately what stands out is that other than people who are, say, like 21 years old, or maybe they're like just fresh out of university, that this question is asked by absolutely everyone. Everyone asks this question as soon as they're at that exact point where they would be the perfect age. So you have somebody who is 25 years old, 26 years old, 28 years old, all the way through their 30s, all the way up through 40s and beyond. People immediately fall into this trap right away that as soon as they're not the perfect age, they must be the wrong age, and they ask the same question. So I kind of fell into this when, well, it was almost like I was running out of options in Canada when I came, and I was already a bit of an odd case because I was 28 years old when I came to Canada. Sorry, when I came to Japan, and I am now 40 years old, and I will be 41 come January. So a lot has transpired in that time. So you could argue in my case that I was already too old to come to Japan. But why I think that it's totally cool, no matter what age that you come, is a couple of different reasons. Let's start with the first one. It's the way in which things feel like an accomplishment. I've actually made this video before, but it was like so many years ago that I feel comfortable making it again, even if it's to repeat some of the themes. So you see somebody like, let's say, Billie Eilish, and it's really impressive when somebody is particularly young and they accomplish something that's great. And it is not that that is not true. When you are young and you have great accomplishments and you do something that seems far past what somebody would have done by that age, it's amazing. That's really cool. And the younger that you are, that you accomplish things, the more amazing that is. But what I would point out is that actually, if you pay attention, you'll find that this is true in the obverse, in the opposite direction. So for me, who's worked for years and years to kind of find my, decades to find my own personal brand of success, whether that's staying true to yourself, whether that's being physically fit, whatever it might be, that the longer that it takes you to reach something doesn't mean that you missed it. It means that you build up this sort of bank of meaning where if you persevered, the period of time that it took you to get there, then if you never gave up, adds to the meaning of it, adds to the impact of it. So if it took 5 years, wow, that's impressive that you never gave up for 5 years. If it took you 10 years, well, then your accomplishment is even more impressive. If it took you 20, even more. And I've got a couple of heroes like this, like Christoph Waltz, who I'm sure everybody knows from Inglourious Basterds fame, gets scouted by Quentin Tarantino. And this was a guy who, he had an acting career, but no way had the kind of popularity that he has now. I mean, to name huge projects that he's in, he's just recently starred in Frankenstein. I'm like in the middle of watching that. It's a really long movie, but it's amazing. He is a great performance in that. That was a guy who came to his fame late, and it's all the more impressive that he did because he persevered. You have somebody like, he's passed away now, but somebody like Leslie Nielsen, who he had an okay kind of like TV career. He was always playing this like straight guy, in the sense of like very serious. And then he got into the Naked Gun movies, which have kind of had a resurgence now with Liam Neeson. I watched that. It was awesome. And it blew up his career to become a comedic actor. And that was very late in his life. And as I say, it's just all the more impressive when you have not given up. So actually then your age becomes a compliment to you if you keep going. And then there's also the fact that it's kind of cute here. We got like, this is this little park near my house. It's nice. It's charming little Japanese park. You have the different challenges, right? So when you're young, it's that classic idea that you're inexperienced, and so people don't trust you so much. So they have their own set of problems when you're young and you're trying to make a name for yourself and you come over to Japan. People are enthusiastic because you're kind of the perceived age that should be here, but they don't trust you because you've never worked before. How could you be trusted to do anything? You're just a young, stupid kid. And that's frustrating for anyone who is younger and is actually incredibly responsible and self-directed and applies themselves to things, blah, blah, blah. But then if you're a little bit older, you don't escape from that. You'll get ageism in Japan because you'll be of that age where people are wondering, why is this old dude doing this? This is a young man's game. So you're going to suffer from ageism. But my point there is then that it's just a challenge. Nobody gets out free. Nobody gets away from having to confront these challenges. They're just unique depending on where you are. And you got to accept them and work with them. And what's life without a little overcoming? Like I say, there's this element of perseverance that is really the spice of your accomplishment. It's that if you do things and the success just falls into your lap, I think it can feel a little bit hollow, although who's to say a little success just isn't good? It doesn't always have to be some sort of epic struggle that you've gone on to reach whatever accomplishment that you want, but it does add spice. The other thing that I would talk about in relation to this is specific to changing perspectives. This is a little bit less like, am I too old? But it's paying attention to the way perspectives develop or the opinion that people have in that moment that you go to do something. So what I mean to say for that is you will always see something like this, and it follows true for whether it's commenting on the age of people, whether it's commenting on the condition of a country. You'll see something like, oh, kids, like, they just don't know how to, kids are crazy these days. They're so irresponsible. Or the language of the youth now is so screwed up. The way they talk is stupid. Or kids are so irresponsible. In my day, it was tough. In my day, it was challenging. In my day, it was real. And then if you look at each slice of history, you'll notice that any age or like grown-up generation, the next generation of adults, always back comments on youth like that. Oh, they're careless. They don't know how to work hard. Their language is strange. And it's just history repeating. And it's always struck me as really funny that, so for the most part, humans don't understand that it's just a cyclical thing, that people are embittered as they grow older and they criticize the youth in this way. But then it's not just this funny repetition of that cyclical, everything is golden when you refer back to your own experience when you're a kid, and everything new is this careless, nobody's got any grit, nobody knows how to work, everybody's lazy, blah, 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 that kind of thing. But it's also true for going to countries that you'll see this kind of romanticized sense of, oh, I don't think it's worth going to the country now because it's just not how it used to be. You know, the good old days are gone in Japan. And if you had gone back in the 90s, it would have been great. If you'd gone in the 80s, if you'd gone in the 1600s, not in the 1600s. If you've seen that movie Silence, there was a bad time to be a Christian foreigner in Japan. It was a real tricky period. But more in a more recent context, this idea that the moment has passed to be in Japan is just as cyclically foolish as it is to look back on a younger generation and say that they're screwing everything up. It's, it was a very short period of time ago that the millennials were the careless, don't know how to work, their language is ridiculous. And so now taking the same kind of cyclical point and directing it towards the country, that come over and enjoy Japan in whatever version it is in now. And I guarantee you that within the next 10 years, you will look back and everybody will say, oh, 2025 was so great. Now in 2035, all the good old days are gone. And then in 2045, people will look back and say, oh, 2035, those were the good old days in Japan. So resist the seductive call that is to view things in this kind of golden past, which is only really a cycle repeating, that there will always be something that we look back on fondly, and it will always seem scary in the future, and it will always in that way then seem like you've missed the boat when you really haven't, if you are aware of this kind of cyclical way that we view both generations and countries to go and visit them. So this is a pretty cool walk around. I hope that it's not too dark. It's gotten so dark now. This is going to be a pretty funny video. I love my neighborhood. I'm trying to not talk too loud. That's why I have the lav mic, because I don't want to be this brutal disturbance here. But as a final note, I can add on that I'm working on a business. It's called Chronicle Creations. I'm going to put that little link in the lower third. And we're building this app that's called Dreambook to help people read good, as Zoolander would say. And if you want to check those out, I've got like the links down below, and I really appreciate you checking them out. Other than that, it's a lot of fun to make these videos. It was really cool in the last video to have a lot of like really nice people show up and comment. Thank you so much for checking it out. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one, and hopefully this one, the light's not too dark, that you can still see me and you can still hear me all right. So until next time, take care. Peace.